Good evening to you, Elton, and good evening to everybody, and welcome to the south of France. The atmosphere is red hot here, and there's no doubt at all about it. It's going to be a supreme test of nerve for United and for their skill as well. It's hard to imagine a more intimidating atmosphere than there is here at the moment. The crowd pressing down onto the pitch. There really will be no place to hide for any of the players out there tonight. The referee comes from Austria, Mr. Forstinger. Brian Robson there. Huge stands behind both goals, and also the one that we're sitting in, and just a very modest single-story one on the far side. 1-1, as you can see, the score after the first leg. Just a quick word from my co-commentator, Gary Lineker, but let's just have a look at this Montpellier side. Elton's already given it to you. They forced to make 3 changes from the first leg. The fullback Weiss, who was involved in that dust-up with Mark Hughes and sent off, suspended. So too is the midfield player Guérin with 2 yellow cards. And Zakarian is injured. Blanc, their captain, the inspiration. Hubert, the little Polish striker, will be a danger. And, of course, the Colombian Valderrama in midfield now makes his bow. These are their substitutes. Number 15, Zureb, of course, came on as a sub in Old Trafford and very nearly scored a winning goal. Manchester United, this is their side. They're able to bring Steve Bruce back to the centre of the defence. And Dennis Irwin, dropped from the first leg, comes back at right back. Brian Robson, I think, likely to play an anchor role just in front of the back four. And United hope, of course, that Mark Hughes, spelled incorrectly there, and Lee Sharp hit top form up front. United must score tonight. United in there's the United substitutes. And United, as usual in the red shirts, white shorts, they will start by attacking the goal to our left. Quick word from Gary Lineker. An incredible atmosphere, Gary.
It really is. They've been here actually for 3 hours now, the crowd, which is incredible, and it's been pretty full for much of that time. There's quite a big support as well from Manchester, urging their side on tonight. Very interesting to note that they were singing the rugby song, Swing Low Sweet Chariot, before the game, probably trying to rub in a little bit of that anti-French feeling. And they'll be hoping for, of course, for a similar sort of result, a victory for the English side against the French.
Well, just how will United's nerve hold up? They've got some battle-hardened players out there, but of course, the first season back in Europe for English clubs, there might just be a little something lacking, and Alex Ferguson clearly felt that it was a lack of European experience that told against United in that first leg when they were pulled back to 1-1. Players after the affair of the first leg, and above all, we look for some strong and some sensible refereeing here in Montpellier tonight as Bruce hoists that first long ball forward, knocked away by Blanc, up towards Hughes again, up towards Valderrama now. Hubert, a foul on Valderrama, and a free kick to Montpellier. Valderrama. This is Lamalt, so powerful for the midfield, but taken out there by Paul Ince. Lamalt was back at him though. Robson in, a free kick given to Manchester United, the foul on Paul Ince.
Not only was Paul Ince fouled there, but Mark Hughes, who was trying to make a run, had Blanc's arms all over him there. He just couldn't get away from him.
That's the sign of the times tonight, Gary, isn't it?
I think that's the way it'll be.
Brian Robson with the free kick for Manchester United. Oh, for another early goal. Bruce up on the far side, it'll be a goal kick. Just reminding you that when it's 1-1 after the first leg, away goals count double. If the tie finishes level on aggregate, it means United have to score tonight. 0-0, and Montpellier go through with that away goal. 1-1, and we go into extra time and maybe penalty shootout at the end of it. A 2-2 score would give United victory, but let's be positive and let's hope for a Manchester United win. Up goes McClare. Phelan in with his feet rather high there, being penalised for it. And noticeable too that Colleterre was wagging his finger at Phelan. There's A lot of ill feeling out there. Ince going in, Lamote forced into the error. But a throw given to Montpellier. That's Lamote. Here he is again. Right leg strapped. Finding the Dutchman, Souverain. Blackmore. That's Thetis, who didn't play in the first leg. And Blackmore gets it away. Was challenged after he cleared the ball there by the number 9, Garcia. It's going to be a tough and an important job for the referee here tonight. There's Lamote. They'll shepherd it back to Seeley. A long ball forward by Les Seeley, but Hughes beaten in the air. Alistair in, Phelan's touch. Lucchesi, and a foul given against Mark Hughes for the foul on Thetis. And whistles all around this compact stadium.
He's not the most popular man in the stadium, Brian.
No, as you were saying earlier, there was one very distasteful banner, which, in fact, it was so distasteful that our producer had to get the stadium authorities to get it removed. Against Mark Hughes, there's a huge depth of feeling against him. This is Hubert.
And they actually spelt that one right, Brian.
Yes. Robson with a header. Brian McClare flicking it forwards. Here's Blanc. Not only a sweeper, but he loves to spring forward and has got a good goal-scoring record. That's Brouard playing the ball in, but easy for Seeley getting there before Valderrama. Hughes. Well, Phelan and Irwin getting in each other's way there. Bruce outstripped here for the moment by Garcia. Oh, just across the face of that United goal. Seeley didn't get a touch on it.
I think he did actually, Brian. I think he saved that one.
Did he?
Well, the referee's given a corner, so it looks that way.
Yeah, it is indeed. Garcia's shot. Just the faintest touch there from Les Seeley. My apologies to him, and a corner then for Montpellier.
A very important save as well, Brian. They didn't really want to lose an early goal, although if they do concede one, it wouldn't be the end of the world, because what United have to do, of course, is score a goal. 1-1, it goes to extra time. Colotier
with a corner. Ince getting there first. Lee Sharp battling away to get there, but knocked back by Brouard. Lamote. It's Barabé with the clearance. Up goes Garcia. Alistair getting it back.
The ball that actually got Garcia was a lovely pass from Valderrama, and he's playing just behind Garcia and Hubert, and he's going to be a little bit of a threat if he gets between United's defence and midfield. Somebody's got to get close to him.
Shot there of Henry Kasperczak, the Montpellier manager, former Polish international. Alistair to Irwin. They'll seek to get Irwin forward as well. Gets in some good crosses. McClare. It's a fairly rash challenge there by Robson, but he didn't really make a contact. Clayton Blackmore with a throw. Sharp trying to get away. Souverain holding him up. And a free kick given to Montpellier. A little surprising that. They've taken Souverain out of the midfield and put him on Lee Sharp at right back. And here you see a foul given against Lee Sharp there. Blackmore's throw for Manchester United. Hughes, followed by Thetis. Ince, pounding it forward. And Blanc, up to Valderrama. A little shimmy to see Paul Ince, but Ince gets it again. Plays a sensible short ball to Lee Sharp. 0-0 in this second leg, 1-1 on aggregate still, of course. Sharp getting away, Souverain aware of his pace, but Sharp nonetheless got it in. That was an excellent cross by Lee Sharp, and it was Thetis at the very last getting it away. Gary Lineker.
His pace got him to that ball. Souverain basically gave up on it, thought it was going out. And that's the way United can expose this defence, if they can get Lee Sharp behind the back, because the sweeper system, if you can get somebody wide, they can cause problems with balls into the box.
It's a very businesslike start by United.
Yes, they had the one early scare when Leslie made a great save, but they've got to go at them. They know they've got to force the game
a little bit of nonsense there involving Brian McClare. I think it's Lucchesi. Lee Sharp then. Lamotte getting it away. Clayton Blackmore trying to get it wide again. But here come Montpellier. Hubert. He's going to be a real handful tonight. Irwin's come across to mark him, though, and did it job well. Montpellier's throw. Souverain. Hubert. A foul by Clayton Blackmore.
Made the most of it, though, didn't he?
That will happen tonight. This is Gruard with the free kick, and Blanc has come up from the back. Some 6'3" of him, but it was Pallister's header that got it away. Ince trying to get in there, and another foul against Manchester United. Ince shows his displeasure and could be in trouble. To be fair, nothing at the moment is being given United's way. They could have a problem here. Valderrama lining up the free kick, Blanc behind him, Gruard and Garcia, and Gary Lineker's trying to get a word in.
I was just going to say that that's often the case with a volatile atmosphere. The referee might sway towards the home side, but what United have got to be sure of is not to let that worry them and just get on with the game.
That's why I think crowds and atmosphere like this do influence the result of a game.
Absolutely.
Well, it's Blanc who looks as though he's going to take this free kick, curling it wide of Vesili's goal. France's Footballer of the Year, 14 caps, a real quality player, Laurent Blanc. Seeley then with the goal kick for Manchester United. Hughes being marked by Thetis. Here's Lee Sharp cutting inside. Souverain only half got it away. Robson feeding it wide towards Phelan. Now Irwin to Phelan on the far side. Ince is right in there, and an offside flag given against Paul Ince. Coming up to 10 minutes, Montpellier 0, Manchester United 0 in this second leg. Quarterfinals of the European Cup Winners' Cup. Pallister up towards McClare. Feet again a little too high there by McClare. It looked fairly innocuous, I have to say, on Lamotte. Another free kick to Montpellier. This is Lamotte, the little dynamo through the midfield. Curling it to Hubert. He got away there from United's defence. He's beaten Sharp. And Seeley down again. He made a swift dash to this right-hand side and caught United's defence totally on the wrong foot. But Seeley was equal to the falling shot.
He's going to be a threat, Hubert. It's one player that I think they'll be more aware of than any other. He's got to be stopped.
Foul on Valderrama this time, another free kick to Montpellier. Blanc. Lucchesi. This is Thetis. Only 20 years old. Hitting a long ball, but Blackmore's there. Robson's there. Touching it down for Ince. Played forward for Hughes and Sharp to chase. Alistair up. Robson up. Feet were high as well. It's a free kick given against Brian Robson, who remonstrates just for a moment with the Austrian referee.
You'll find that in Europe, referees don't like the feet going up at all. In England, the referees tend to give and take, not worry about it too much. But on the continent, they do. They hate to see a foot up, probably above knee height, and they'll whistle for anything like that.
Well, here's another free kick for Montpellier. Blanc playing it towards Garcia. That's a goal kick. That's the Montpellier president, Louis Nicolon. Leclerc. This is Blanc. Valderrama. Hubert. Good play again here by Montpellier. Colleter on the far side. Hubert. That's a corner. There's some speculation as to whether or not Montpellier would try to keep it tight and play for 0-0, but that's a really dangerous game, and they've obviously thrown that to one side. They're full of good attacking intentions, and United really have to be at their best defensively tonight. Hubert with the corner. Paul Ince again getting that one away at the near post. What worries me a little bit is that United's defensive hopes are built on pretty fragile foundations. Only one clean sheet in the last 10 and only 3 in the last 18. Throw to Montpellier. Another free kick to Montpellier. So here comes the free kick. Chasey with it, curling it in. That was Bruce, very bravely down. Got a really nasty bang on the head, Steve Bruce, it seemed, as he went in for that header. Bruard crossing it in again. That time it's Lee Sharp. United have got to keep their patience. They've got to keep their shape, and above all else, they've got to keep their discipline. It's no good getting annoyed about refereeing decisions. They're there, they're given, and there's nothing they can do about them. Just get on with the job. Again, the feet too high, that time by Lee Sharp on Thetis. And you can see Mark Hughes not entirely agreeing with that decision. Bruce guiding this back safely to Les Sealy. Up to McClare. In goes Phelan. Souverain. That's a goal kick.
I think it was fairly clear from Montpellier's team selections that they weren't coming here just to try and hang on to the away goal. They've made it clear by picking Valderrama, who is essentially an attacking midfield player, not the type that'll defend, that they're going to try and add to their tally tonight. And I think that's possibly why the United were quite pleased. I think they thought once he was selected, that meant they were going to do that, which might leave a little bit more space for them to take advantage of on the counter-attack.
Another throw to Montpellier. Wilbert Souverain from Holland. This is Bruard. Sharp having no nonsense there, but as he kicked away, there was a foul by Bruard, the number 2, on Sharp, and Manchester United at last get a free kick. Well, they've gone past the 15-minute mark, Manchester United, without conceding anything. They may well feel they've taken a little of the heat out of the situation. Hughes couldn't keep it in, and sure whether there was a bit of play acting there with Thetis. Ball goes out of play. And we came off the slow motion just a fraction too early. 27 years old, but what's more important, the statistic for Mark Hughes, 18 goals this season. Bruce backpedaling. Garcia coming towards him. Bruce is safe header away towards McClare. Lucchesi challenging him on that far touchline. Robson, oh, that surely was a bad foul after Robson had played the ball there by Lamote. And a player who's had his share of injuries is down once more, but not for long. Robson on his feet again. Dennis Irwin with the free kick for Manchester United. Up to McClare. Into Robson.
I think the reason we've seen so many free kicks for foot up and things is that the pitch is so firm and the ball's bouncing around so much. So players are following the ball, and as it's lifting up, they're automatically lifting their legs. And as I said, the referee's not standing for that. So at the moment, the referee being so pernickety is ruining the game a little bit and the flow of it.
Throw to Montpellier. Nice little turn there by Garcia. In comes Ince. A foul on him, another free kick. There. Colater getting it away. Bruce. Phelan chasing on the far side along with Colater. A throw to Montpellier. Colater is still down. They claim that it was a charge by Phelan, but it seemed to me two guys going hell for leather for that one ball. As we have another look at it again, and Colater in fact going down. He may just have hit himself on the advertising hoardings there, but I don't think you can put any blame on Mike Phelan.
No, I don't think so. Fairly innocuous challenge. He just fell a little bit awkwardly, that's all.
On the south coast, south of France, just west of Marseille in the Camargue. And United have enjoyed really two blissful summery days here. There's Valderrama, his second season at Montpellier. Hughes, the back heel falling straight for Thetis. And back to the goalkeeper, Claude Barabé. This is the president of the club sitting on the bench alongside the manager. I wonder how many managers at home would want the chairman sitting alongside him. I can think of one or two managers who wouldn't allow that.
I think there's a few who don't like them in the stand, let alone on the bench.
A free kick to Manchester United.
And I'm not thinking of one very close to home there.
I know. Robson with the kick. Bruce has made a darting little run there, Steve Bruce. Gary Pallister's in there too. That was an important header for Montpellier by Blanc. Irwin putting it in again, but the flag goes up for offside. Brian Robson, you were having a good chat with him on the pitch before the game, Gary.
Yeah, he was really looking forward to this. A real European tie with a great atmosphere is something that he was saying that he's missed while we've been banned from Europe.
Leclerc coming towards this one, but Montpellier were there outnumbering him. Souverain now down this right touchline towards Garcia, just turns it back for Valderrama. Pallister, and then heaved away by Blackmore up to Hughes. Hughes shrugging off Thetis there. Robson spreading it wide to the Irishman Dennis Irwin on the far side. Oh, a slip by McClare, and suddenly it's Lamolt is in. Hubert on the far side, but the ball beat him into touch.
Personally, I'd like to see Brian McClare play further up front. He's dropping a little bit deep at the moment. Lee Sharp's playing quite well up wide on the left. I'd like to see Brian McClare really up there with take the weight off Mark Hughes a little bit. They're perhaps going to wait and see how things are going. Perhaps play a little bit cautiously to start with.
This is Blanc, the captain, being hustled by the Manchester United captain. Souverain, all taken rashly there by Sharp. It looked a bad challenge by Lee Sharp, and Sharp is injured. Now, whether Souverain attacks Sharp afterwards, maybe we'll see here. There was the challenge. And there's a yellow card out for Lee Sharp when he gets up. He'll be the third Manchester United player carrying a yellow card in the European competition. Brian Robson's one, Paul Ince is another.
I think actually Sir Brian is a little bit fortunate there because it didn't quite show up on the replay either. But he definitely looked to react to the tackle of Lee Sharp and rake his studs down the back of his back, which is why he's holding it as he is.
Here's after this one, Thetis with him. Sharp. Blackmore. Curled in there, but straight through to Balabé. For all that, it was a silly challenge for Lee Sharp to make. It's not the sort of challenge really that you should be making on a night like this, which provokes so many things, Gary.
Yeah, the game's being played at such a pace that tackles are going in, and if the ball's knocked off, you can be already made your mind up to tackle and finish up being late. And he'll have to be careful now.
Blackmore gets it forward, and now here is Sharp in a little bit of space, taking on Lucchesi. He's got McClare waiting in the middle, but couldn't get it across. You're right about the pace of the game. The main camera positions, as you can see, are very high here in the stadium, but Gary and I are sitting just a few feet behind the benches here, very, very low indeed, and you really get an impression of huge pace in this European Cup Winners' Cup quarter-final, where it still stands at 0-0 here in the south of France tonight between Montpellier and Manchester United, 1-1 on aggregate after the first leg. Leighton Blackmore. Valderrama. Hubert plays it into Valderrama again. Might get it back once more. Valderrama in there still. Ince finally to Manchester United's rescue, but it's not away yet. Phelan trying to get in ahead of there. Gets a bit of ground for Manchester United. Irwin's header caught off balance. Robson plays it forward. Sharp trying to get in behind them again. He's got Hughes up with him. Hughes winning the ball from Thetis. Playing it wide for McClare. Sharp's gone into the middle. And Phelan's made a great break on the far side. Blackmore struggling, but nonetheless gets it to Irwin. The steam for the moment's gone out of that move. It's back with Bruce. And now back even further with Pallister. Irwin on the far side. Forward to Paul Ince, very forward. But in the end, Coletaire getting it away. Bruce knocking it back. Phelan. Ince again in there. Blanc could have been in trouble. Robson was at him.
Probably the first bit of sustained pressure United have had without actually getting the ball in the box where they can cause some damage. They got into a couple of good wide positions. They just need to try and deliver that service for the strikers to feed off.
Alistair. Blanc. Lucchesi. Up to Hubert. Being chased by Irwin and forced into the error by Dennis Irwin. Steve Bruce. Ince finds Robson. United surging forward again. A ball for Phelan, an excellent ball there by Brian Robson. Phelan's cross and flicked across the face of that goal. It just needed a touch by Sharp or Hughes who were in there. Blackmore trying to keep it going, gets it in the game there. McClare with the header. Robson again, still trying to keep it going. And now a free kick, probably for a handball there by Brian Robson as he tried to keep that move going for Manchester United. Well, that isn't Alex Ferguson. It's the team doctor, in fact.
Definitely United's best spell of the game. They've soaked up the early pressure and now they're coming out. Great ball from Brian Robson there, set Mike Phelan away. And the ball got across, and that could have been the first chance that they've had. But the signs are getting better.
Bruce thought about the pass back, realised that Hubert was very close at hand. McClare chasing Lucchesi. And of course it's a fact, Gary, isn't it, that the longer it stays at 0-0, the more anxious Montpellier will become, because they know then that just one good strike from Manchester United and they're out of it.
Well, that's true. And also, of course, Manchester will get more tense as well, because they know they've actually got to score to stay in the game, whereas Montpellier haven't. But Manchester have got to be patient, of course. It's no good going like a bull at a gate and throwing caution to the wind. They've got to bide their time and wait for the chance to come, because they'll get chances.
Feeling in towards Hughes. This is Garcia. Blackmore stopped him. Sharp. Out of play. Coming up to the half-hour mark, still no goals here in Montpellier. And the aggregate score remains at 1-1. Montpellier, 5th in the French First Division. Quite a modern club with a modern stadium now. They were only formed in 1974. Hubert. And they won the cup last season by beating Racing Paris in the final. So we're at the half-hour mark, 0-0. There's Seeley. Could be a very intimidating night for a goalkeeper, playing in front of a crowd as noisy as this, but he's never been short on confidence as Les. There's Blackmore, Valderrama. Yet really to make his mark, Valderrama. One good pass, as Gary was saying, but there's a simple one this time to Hubert. Being shadowed by Paul Ince. And Ince took the ball superbly there. Alistair up to Hughes. Ince again. To Sharp, trying to knock it past Valderrama. In comes Blanc, takes the return ball from Brouard into Hubert. Now Valderrama, bit of space for him. Crowd get to the edge of their seats now. Hubert. And the shots quite comfortably gathered again by Seeley.
Very nice, tidy football there from the French. Valderrama instrumental in that move. He's got a lovely touch. He technically is a wonderful player to watch. And he's gifted with that little touch. He doesn't play many long passes, but he's little touches and flicks and plays little short balls and gets it back.
Out to Bruce. Up to Robson. Blackmore's good run from the back. He's done well. Will he try? I thought for a moment he was going to lift that right boot and gives the goalkeeper something to think about. With Irwin on the far side. Owen again. That's some nice play here by Manchester United. Phelan's cross towards Sharp, but Sharp couldn't get a touch to it, and they played controlled football there, which they rarely displayed after the opening minutes of the first leg at Old Trafford.
I think they'll probably find this pitch a bit easier than the one at Old Trafford, though, Brian. Another ball to the far post, and Lee Sharp just got above him, but couldn't really direct the header. See the replay there, the ball comes over, and Lee Sharp couldn't quite direct the header.
Valderrama. Referee might in fact have given a free kick there, I think, possibly by a push by Lee Sharp. Here's Bruce. He was doubtful, which not many people knew about. He'd had some grass burns, of all things, of all the injuries they get. Some grass burns, that's going to be a corner. Some grass burns on his backside, and he had a bit of a bump come up as well, and it's an infection, and the antibiotics got it out of it. Well, that was clearly a corner for Manchester United, not given. So Steve Bruce, doubtful yesterday, playing tonight, and important for United that he and Pallister strike up that good relationship at the centre of the defence. Up goes Pallister, wins that in the air. Ince is getting through some good work in that midfield in a tidy way, and a clash there between Solitaire and Leclerc.
I think it's Phelan, actually, Brian.
It's Phelan, I beg your pardon, and it's a free kick given to Montpellier.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair enough, but he dived a bit like Greg Louganis there.
Right, Blanc with the free kick. He's ordered Thetis to go wide to receive it. Thetis just a little bit asleep there just for a moment. But Blanc gets it back a long way to his 24-year-old goalkeeper. Towards Garcia. Beat Bruce in the air there. Blackmore. Challenged by Hubert. He's got Pallister at his side, though. Pallister knocking it forward to Leclerc. Leclerc's chest down goes to Brouard. Now Valderrama played it in again, and Pallister in the nick of time. Good defending there by Gary Pallister for Manchester United. Tried to get the ball forward again to Hughes. Irwin. Just as they were in the first leg, Montpellier really sharp on the ball, and the foul there by Robson, and that's a yellow card for Brian Robson. And Robson picked up a yellow card in the first leg as well. What it means, if United go forward into the semi-finals, Brian Robson will miss the first of those games. We have 10 minutes to go of the first half. The trainer came running on from Montpellier to tend to Le Maltz, and was quickly ordered off by the Austrian referee. It's a free kick.
Again, I think it was for the foot up. The referee obviously doesn't like that. It didn't look particularly nasty to me. It'd be interesting to see it here again. Well, we won't.
Irwin gets it back to Seeley. And Blanc gets it back. Montpellier, remember, beat PSV Eindhoven, Bobby Robson's team, in the opening round of this competition, and then Steaua Bucharest in the next round from Romania. Manchester United beating Hexi Munkac, Hungarian Cup winners, and then Wrexham. Bruce underneath this one, beating Valderrama in the air. Up towards Hughes again, who's getting little change out of Thetis. Hughes falls to the ground, but it's Montpellier who get the free kick.
I don't think this is Mark Hughes' type of referee, actually, that any bodily contact he seems to give a free kick straight away, and Mark relies on the physical challenge a lot, and I think he might be punished quite severely tonight. A problem actually that he did have in Spain with the referees over there who were particularly finicky on things like that, and he found that he was giving too many free kicks away, but he was only playing what is to him his natural game.
Lamolt, Valderrama, Lamolt, stopped by Bruce. Phelan gets it away. So United still hanging on in there at 0-0. But it's a night, remember, where they must score if they're to proceed in this cup. Rouard. Off down by Bruce. The crowd were howling for a penalty, but the referee was well placed. Bruce is on the deck, in fact. And the play goes on with Sharp. Ince finding him with a good ball there. Leclerc's made a great break. Sharp over the top. And Bruce is still down at the other end of the field. Let's have a look at this. Well, you can't see really from that slow motion, but Bruce is still down in trouble. And the referee not allowing a trainer on. The game goes on. Good break by Lee Sharp, though.
It was a good effort, actually. Just over the bar, but he struck it very sweetly.
Mal Donaghy warming up just in case Steve Bruce can't carry on. I think he's just winded, actually. A free kick to Montpellier.
I think it caught him in a nasty place, Brian.
Yes.
Certainly wasn't his hand, anyway.
Exactly. Jim McGregor tried to get on, the United physio, but hasn't been allowed on. Ball out of play, a goal kick. So you can see Mal Donaghy warming up. Seeley with the goal kick. 7 minutes to go to the interval. Souverain's header. Up goes Ince. In goes Robson. Now, Robson played the ball, and he had to play the ball. It was the Montpellier player, I thought, Gary, who was ducking in on that one. Robson, though, gets penalised.
No, you're absolutely right, Brian, but that's the way this referee plays the game, and many other referees on the continent, as I said early on, and that's clearly going to be a bit of a problem.
Blanc playing the ball wide on the far side. Irwin holding up his man well. Bruce comes to Phelan. McClare. Phelan, who's made some good breaks down that right side, Phelan. But he's stopped that time by Coletaire.
Both United's wide men actually are getting quite involved in the game in the last 15-20 minutes and causing Montpellier problems.
Free kick given to Manchester United with 5 minutes of the first half remaining. A foul on Mike Phelan. A chance for Irwin to hoist a long ball in towards Pallister, who's up, Bruce, who's up, Robson's in there, McClare, Hughes, Phelan's just outside the box, Sharp's in there too. Now what can United do? It's a long one towards Pallister. Pallister's header gets it, and again. But Montpellier get it away. Souverain will complete the clearance. Not very effectively, though. Tangle with Sharp. And what's been given?
Surprise, surprise, a free kick to Montpellier.
A free kick to Montpellier. Four minutes to half-time, still 0-0. Up goes Pallister. Blackmore. Fetish. An unfair challenge by Hughes. Another free kick to Montpellier. Hubert. Ince closing very quickly on him. And Ince has done some good work in the midfield, but he's penalised here, presumably for holding Hubert. A free kick to Montpellier. Well, Maybe you would think at home that was 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, but the free kick's gone to Montpellier, and here's Thetis. Garcia's pulled away on the far side a little bit, but here's Hubert. Hit in firmly. Sharp gets it away. Up to Hughes. Blanc towering above him. Hughes took a bang on the head there. Leclerc nicely on his chest. Tried to play it towards Phelan. And back by Colleterre to goalkeeper Barrabé. They won't be displeased, actually, Manchester United, with the way they played so far, Gary Lineker.
No, they soaked up the early pressure and they've come back, certainly the best side in the last 15-20 minutes, and I think the signs are good for the second half. And I think the longer the game goes on, the more they'll probably push Brian Leclerc up to support Mark Hughes.
Robson going in, Ince going in, sorry Gary, Robson again. Ince is still down, it's with Valderrama. And Ince is still down. Valderrama's ball there towards Hubert. Robson getting it away, but there's no red shirt there. And Hughes there. And Souverain, in fact, putting the ball into touch because Ince is clearly in a bit of trouble. A good sporting gesture there by the Dutchman. Clearly in a lot of pain, Paul Ince. And he'd been having a good game through that midfield. He'd been nicking in, making some good interceptions.
He's been working very hard, Brian. I think what he might have done there was skid along the pitch and took his skin off, the grass burn you were talking about earlier with Steve Bruce. Because the pitch is very hard.
Alec Ferguson, who's, of course, already won this competition with Aberdeen back in 1983, a memorable night when they beat Real Madrid in Gothenburg.
Yeah, he'll be hoping to repeat that.
That's where they were standing in there, shouting their heads off some 3 hours before the kick-off tonight.
I think they've got tired. Look, they've gone quiet all of a sudden.
It's a really passionate crowd. A waiter in a restaurant was telling me last night, he said, the first thing we worry about here is food, the second thing we worry about is rugby, and football comes down the list. But to be honest with you, the crowd here tonight have really been fanatical. There's a bunch of the Manchester United fans, about 1,500 of them have come over. They're in two separate enclosures.
Yeah, I think it's probably a bit worse than a grass burn, actually. He's been down too long for that, I would think. I'm probably mistaken. This looks like it might be bad news for Manchester United.
And Lee Martin beginning to strip off. That presumably might mean that he goes to left back, his normal position, and Clayton Blackmore goes into the midfield. It's a blow for United. He just signed a new contract, an extension, I think it's a 1-year extension to his contract, Paul Ince. And had just begun to find his scoring boots again after so long. He scored at Southampton and really got in some good positions. There he goes in there, as you say, Gary. It looked as though it might have been a grass burn from that particular shot, but it's obviously something more severe than that. So Lee Martin and Danny Wallace there. And maybe Jim McGregor's done the work. Maybe Paul Ince will be able to carry on, but certainly quite a lengthy stoppage.
New pair of shorts going out. Perhaps they were trying to sew them up.
Well, you get the impression there that possibly there's the...
Actually,
with Lucchesi, I think it is.
Yeah, I think his leg just went over the top and perhaps caught him on the upper thigh.
Well, they've every reason, Manchester United fans, to be quite satisfied with the way their team are playing at the moment. As Gary Lineker was saying, in the last quarter of an hour, they've looked slightly the better side. And when you work it out, Montpellier, the home side, one early save from Les Sealy, and really, apart from that, nothing. Shot at Danny Wallace.
That's true, and I think everybody will be cheering United on back in England tonight. It's an important result, not only for Manchester United, but for English football, because the more success our teams have in Europe, the more teams we can get back into Europe next season, or the season after, because it's done on a points accumulating system, and unfortunately we've been out a while.
There we can see the injury to Paul Ince. A real, there might be a stud mark right up the side of that right thigh, and
I don't think he'll be on for very long.
That's some effort to go on with that. You don't think he'll be on for very long?
No, I mean, he looks to be really struggling there. And it looks a hell of a mess from this distance.
Yeah.
But going back to what I was saying, if English clubs to get points, you have to do well in the competition. Say if United won it, they get extra points, which would give us an advantage of getting more teams back in Europe, which is, of course, everybody wants.
And United know, of course, that the only way they can continue playing in Europe next season is to win this competition. Winning the Rumbelows Cup, sadly for them, or for Sheffield Wednesday, it doesn't give them a place in Europe next season.
True.
Ince trying manfully to run off that nasty scar down the right side, and obviously is in an awful lot of pain. But United still carrying this battle to Montpellier. A throw by Clayton Blackmore up to his great pal Mark Hughes. They're absolutely inseparable. That's not Alex Ferguson, let me remind you. A couple of proud Welshmen, Blackmore and Hughes. Blackmore with the throw. Knock on there. Might come to Lee Sharp. The Moult getting it away. Pallister doubling back. Needs to have the legs of Hubert here. And shepherds the ball into touch for a throw to Manchester United. Clayton Blackmore, I noticed when he came training yesterday. Born in Neath, of course, with a Neath rugby t-shirt on. Proud of his roots. And here he is with a free kick. Up towards Mark Hughes. Beaten by Thetis in the air, but now a free kick for Manchester United. Some 10, 12 yards outside the penalty area. Hughes is down, but he'll get up. We're well into injury time. Some 4 minutes of it, of course, because of the Paul Ince injury. Blackmore strikes a tremendous ball, and just 3 in the wall, including Valderrama. Blackmore shot, and it's in there! United have scored! A wonderful breakthrough for Manchester United. Clayton Blackmore. Well, we said it was a rifling shot that he's had in his locker. And what about this? Gary Lineker.
It was a great strike. I don't think the goalkeeper will be too pleased with himself. Although it's from a long distance, it was straight at him, and it's just gone straight through his body and his arms.
Fantastic blow. Now, for a start, we know that if it stays this way, as we look at it again, and we can look at it again and again, I'm sure all Manchester United fans, to the back of the net there, concerned now on the Montpellier bench.
Barabé's made an awful hash of that one.
Bruce gets it away.
Perfect timing just before half-time.
Superb. Apart from 1,500 Manchester United fans, the place went absolutely silent then. Phelan gets it away. Up towards Mark Hughes. The half-time whistle. Manchester United are in the lead. It's a brilliant breakthrough for them from Clayton Blackmore right on half-time. So there's going to be plenty to savour now in the second half. In a moment we should be getting the views of Jimmy Greaves with Elton Wellesby. But now we take from Montpellier a short break.
So I don't think we should underestimate them. And they're perfectly capable, as they showed at Old Trafford, of scoring goals.
Well, away we go then. Hold on your hats for the next 45 minutes. Will Manchester United go into the semi-finals of the European Cup Winners' Cup? Bruce knocking it forward. Lucchesi hustled by Hughes. A nice ball now for Phelan. And in goes Thetis. Just how will Montpellier react, we wonder, to this setback of theirs? It's the first goal they've conceded at home in Europe this season. Owen for Manchester United to Phelan. Across the far side of the goal, just beyond the reach of Lee Sharp and of Mark Hughes. A fact, it wasn't the best of crosses from Mike Phelan, and he's back with the goalkeeper, Barabi. How's he going to react after his error in the 49th minute? Here's Phelan. Here's his cross. Not quite what United required. Of course, it'll be a fantastic money-spinning situation for Manchester United in the semi-finals, with the likes of Barcelona and Juventus, Sampdoria, heavily involved in the last stages of the Cup Winners' Cup. Valderrama, the little ball through now. And well, that looked like a dive, and the referee interpreted it as a dive by Coletaire. He got up quickly enough. Bruce finding Hughes. Hughes with a good ball and some space ahead of Mike Phelan now. McClare's up there. Blackmore's getting in there as well. Now, can Phelan get it across? In comes Blackmore, brought down, a penalty! United now get a penalty! The referee runs away from the Montpellier protests, and United now have a perfect chance to give themselves a cushion of a second goal. There's the incident. Blackmore goes down. Gary Lineker.
Yeah, he came in Mike Phelan, got the ball in there, and Clayton Blackmore's just got his touch before the defender, and the defender's definitely caught him. I don't think you can argue with that.
Steve Bruce, 11 goals this season, 8 of them from the penalty spot. Takes another penalty now as a result of that moment you saw there. A crucial moment for Manchester United. Steve Bruce. It's 2-0. That's what they think about it on the Montpellier bench. They know they have a massive problem now. And United 2 goals to the good. 3-1 on aggregate. 2 away goals as Bruce now puts the ball unerringly into the corner of the Montpellier net. Superb penalty under pressure.
Yeah, he took it right in the corner.
As a penalty taker yourself, you'll know just what was going through his mind, Gary. And here come United again. Inside for McClare. Can't get the ball over, but was it a corner? McClare thought it was. The referee's given it, yes.
The only thing that had been going through Steve Bruce's mind, he'd have shut all the crowd out and everything. He'd have just been concentrating on exactly what he was going to do with it and where he was going to hit it.
That was a fantastic moment for him, considering he was doubtful yesterday.
I mean, they're in a great position. Montpellier have got to score 3 goals now.
Keep that little computer going, Gary. There's the corner for United. It was knocked off Pallister's head, though. Blackmore. Blackmore again. Yes, because even if Montpellier get back to 2-2, United go through on the away goals. 3 now is the target for Montpellier in this second half. And one thing is for sure, what your plans might be for later in the evening, I don't know, but there will not now be extra time here. Robson, a little cushioned header. Lee Martin on the far side. Suddenly everything's being given United's way. It was their throw. Robson turning it in. Sharp trying to get it across. Lucchesi getting it away.
The home crowd have gone very quiet, Brian.
And a shot that time by Brian Robson over the bar.
Yeah, I think he gave a foul anyway against Brian there, but yeah, the Montpellier crowd have gone from an incredible noise to a deafening silence, and the only people you can hear now are the Manchester United fans.
Quite nice, isn't it?
Very nice.
Up to Seeley. But still, United just have to keep their discipline. Not let Montpellier see any light at the end of a long and dark tunnel for them now. Lucchesi being hustled by McClare. It'll put an extra stride into Manchester United's game as well.
Certainly will, and you can actually notice that one or two of the Montpellier players look like the heads have gone down a little bit.
In goes Pallister, fractionally before Hubert, as Valderrama tried to find him. Sharp. Souverain on the far side. Here comes Martin. Robson beaten by Blanc. Valderrama finding Blanc. Stopped though by Blackmore. And an offside flag up against Mark Hughes.
Be interesting to see if Valderrama tries to exert himself a little bit more, or he goes into his shell completely. They need somebody with the ability like he has, or Hubert, really, to, if they're going to get back into this game at all.
Shortly going to bring on Jureb on. Daniel Jureb, who came on as a substitute at Old Trafford. You may remember it needed an excellent save by Les Sealy and a kick off the line. I think it was by Blackmore right at the end to prevent this number 15 scoring a second goal. So Brouard is coming off, and Jureb. Striker of great experience for Montpellier. 7 minutes of the second half have ticked by.
Yeah, he's gone straight up front. They've put Garcia on the right side. So it looks like they're really going to go for it with three main attackers now. Plus Valderrama just behind them.
Long. There's Phelan cutting it out. Leclerc. Irwin. No time for silly mistakes, and Irwin's made a fractional one there. Tries to get back. And an offside flag against Garcia. Phelan beaten for the ball there. Jureb again. Irwin gets it away. Up to Leclerc, lets it run. Up to Hughes. Hughes brought down. And a free kick given. Pallister. Back to Sealy. Don't take chances. Back again to Sealy. Blanc, better header. Thetis getting it back. Just a little nudge with Lee Sharp there. Polletier getting the header in before Phelan. Up comes Hughes. Back with Thetis, and he will put it back. No, he won't. He'll put it to Blanc. Look at the work Leclerc's doing all across that line as well, chasing everything. Ball out of play for a throw to Montpellier. Souverain wanting to get on with it. And away goes Souverain, the Flying Dutchman there, gets the ball inside. There's an offside flag up against Jureb, though. Another free kick to Manchester United. In a way, it makes, I'm sure, United fans just that little more, yes, you can see offside there, just that little more anxious, because there's a big prize now really within their grasp, and if they let it slip now, I mean, it would be unthinkable.
Well, absolutely, and I'm sure, I'm fairly sure as you can be that they won't. They're an organised side. Pallister and Bruce haven't put a foot wrong all night, and I can't see any way back for the French now.
Hughes in for Sharp. The cross by Sharp towards Mike Phelan. There's his header. Saved that time, though, by Barabe. There was a bit of a push there, but again, United making a good move forward down that left-hand flank. Free kick to Montpellier. There's Sharp's cross. And a ledge push there by Mike Phelan. A free kick to Montpellier. Lemote. Arabi, we see him saving again. Meantime, on the far side, Hubert. Souverain. time the trusty Pallister right boot got it away. Blackmore played it forwards. A free kick for Manchester United. They'll just try to take the heat out of any situation now, just reduce the pace.
There's Mark Hughes. Changes character when he plays this game. Off the field, he's a really quiet lad. When it comes to the game, he's a real battering ram. He spends half his time off the field actually sleeping. He's probably sleep for England, or I should say Wales, actually. So when we were at Barcelona, he was hopeless company. He spent all afternoon sleeping.
Really? Well, he's a fellow who needs his rest and puts it to very good use when he gets on the football field. There's Phelan as another one. A throw given to Manchester United. Extraordinary thing, the decisions suddenly seem to be going their way now. There were great groans around me then from the French supporters when that throw was given to United. Phelan gets it back, but played it far too close. Robson is in. That was a handball, clearly by Colleterre. Kicks the ball away. Admonished by the Austrian referee. Free kick to Manchester United. I can't see the point in him kicking it away. United will take their time getting it back, and time is one thing that Montpellier haven't got.
That's right, just a silly bit of frustration that doesn't do his team or himself any good at all.
Dennis Irwin with the free kick for Manchester United. Curled maybe a little too close to the keeper. Only Garcia is up. Pallister may have caught a hand in the face there, but he still found Blackmore. Blackmore in turn tripped there by Souvrain. A free kick again to Manchester United. 13 minutes now gone by of the second half. United needing to stay firm for another half an hour or so. Blackmore with the free kick. He's driven it in again, and it needed a good save by Balabé.
Clayton Blackmore's a lovely strike of the ball. I mean, that was a fabulous effort, and the keeper who made a hash of the first one made quite a good save that time.
Blackmore, remember, scored with a rasping drive in the very first European game this season. Here we see this one again against Pekshi Munkash at Old Trafford. And if you've just joined us, Manchester United leading by 2-0 here in the south of France against Montpellier. A goal after 49 minutes of the first half, right on half-time. Goal by Clayton Blackmore, and then early in the second half, a penalty by Steve Bruce. To lead 3-1 on aggregate. And now Garcia trying to get in behind them. Not a lot of support out there for him, and red shirts all around him. And it's Lee Sharp who gets it away. Leclerc gets it away.
The whole United team really working hard. Lee Sharp getting, of all people, getting right back to clear the danger there.
It's been that sort of performance tonight for them. And there's Hubert. A poor effort in the end. Shadowed all the way there across that penalty area by Mike Phelan. And a goal kick for Manchester United by Les Sealy.
Brian Robson actually said to me before the game that they didn't think Hubert would be the threat tonight that he was in the home game. He thought there'd be less space for him at home, with United being a bit tighter. And it's proved up to now to be the case.
Valderrama. Robson's after him. That was a handball by Robson. Phelan optimistic. He thought it was a free kick for Manchester United. That's a good ball. Played for Hubert. Chereb's waiting in the middle. Knocked away beautifully there by Lee Sharp. Again back in defence. Blanc now keeping the challenge going for Montpellier. Good play though by Lee Martin. Up to Hughes. Now in for Robson. Pallister couldn't quite get to that one. Garcia. Thought about a shot, then the back heel, in goes Robson, didn't quite get to it, claims for a penalty, Austrian referee says no thanks. But a throw to Montpellier on the far side. They've raised the pace a little bit, Montpellier now, offering a little bit of a threat now to Manchester United. What do you think, Gary?
No, I think it was, he was very low going for the ball. I would say that That was probably a 50-50 clash.
In the meantime, while you were on all those replays, the ball had gone behind for a goal kick to Manchester United, which Les Sealy will take. We're just past the 15-minute mark of the second half. Montpellier 0, Manchester United 2, 3-1 to United on aggregate. Free kick to Montpellier. Blanc with it. Solitaire. It's Bruce going in. Hubert. But a foul that time by Irwin on Hubert, and it'll be a free kick. Leclerc threw the ball, or rather kicked the ball away. The referee wasn't happy with that. The free kick's been given. Solitaire will take it. Very deep towards Blanc. That could have been dangerous, but it was too high even for him and for Pallister. Souvrain's done well here, though. Crossed another good ball in there. And Sealy up under great pressure for that one. Whacked away, though, by Bruce, but the whistle had gone for a foul on Sealy. Hughes brings it away, making out that he doesn't know, kicks it a little further, which has angered the crowd. This is the ball that was hoisted in. You were trying to, while I was looking at that, Gary, attracted my attention to, well, there.
Yeah, Hubert started messing around with Les Sealy, a bit of frustration creeping in amongst the Montpellier players. Not happy about that decision.
And one or two of them having words with Mark Hughes for kicking the ball away as well. But at the end of it all, it's Sealy who gets it away safely for Manchester United. Hughes playing a good ball wide. There's the faithful Phelan going forward again. Solitaire after him. And the Frenchman did well. Gets the ball along the line to Hubert. That was a good ball he played as well. Hubert forward, cut out nicely by Bruce. The two central defenders have had a tiring game for Manchester United tonight, Pallister and Bruce.
I think Hubert might have done something nasty there. Probably his groin, actually.
Well, that'll be a blow for them if he has to go. They have another striker on the bench, Garand. But it looks to me as though, yes, he's struggling a little bit. But Hughes now finding Phelan again. Solitaire goes down, claims he was shoved. The referee agrees this time, and a free kick's given to Montpellier. All this taking time. We're coming towards the 20-minute mark. And a substitution. I think Hubert is coming off. Bruce. Phelan. Hubert out-jumped. Robson gets it forward. Solitaire gets it back to Valderrama. Robson sticking so close to Valderrama, giving him so little room, but Valderrama nonetheless found Jareb. Robson gets it back now to Irwin, hit forward again, Blanc there, up goes Hughes, in comes Leclerc, just gets a touch to it, but outnumbered 4-1 there in that Montpellier defence.
Actually, Valderrama's been basically non-existent this half. If it wasn't for his hair, you'd never notice him.
United get it forwards.
Actually, they say that the village in Colombia, where Valderrama's from, the whole village has got the same hairstyle.
A long ball forward. Up goes Garcia.
Personally, I think it clashes with his shorts a bit.
Come clean. That was a story we were told this afternoon on the ground here. And you said, I'm going to get that in on the commentary before you can.
Absolutely. I gave you a chance. I gave you the first half, Brian.
Goes Hughes again. Solitaire got the header, and that came off Irwin. It'll be, now they're going to make the substitution on Montpellier, and it is Hubert who's coming off, who was such a threat in that first game at Old Trafford. Hasn't been quite the threat tonight, except in the opening minutes. And indeed it is Garand who is on. Himself is an experienced striker, some 30 years old, with a lot of experience in the French First Division. Valderrama. Here's Irwin. The long ball forward. Now they're testing the pace of Lee Sharp. Souverain is stuck with him. Leclerc's up there. Hughes is up there. Martin plays it in short, but it goes straight to Montpellier player. The whistle's gone for a free kick to Montpellier. Valderrama. Up to Garcia. And back by McClare to Seeley. The impression there that the Frenchman kept his boot in, and indeed it's a free kick.
Actually, Garcia's been the one Montpellier players really tried to do something about it since they went 2-0 down. He's really starting to run at players and causing United a few problems at the back.
Thetis all over Hughes. Quite properly a free kick given. Thetis falls holding his head. Manchester United will just take their time. There's no need for them to hurry. Blackmore had a look at it, decided that Pallister would take it. Phelan's away on the right-hand side here. McClare's made a darting little run in towards the penalty area. There is Brian McClare. But Lucchesi gets it away, up to Garcia. Colleterre. Sharp. Hughes, a lovely bit of skill there. Took it on his chest superbly while he was still in mid-air. Another foul there by Thetis and another free kick for Manchester United. United leading by 2-0 here in Montpellier. 3-1 on aggregate as Robson now tries to get Sharp away again. Blackmore's made a break into the middle. Sharp still. There's the cross coming in, and Hughes was almost on the end of that one. They've really been unsure of themselves on those crosses once or twice tonight, Montpellier.
They've caused them problems. I said if they could get behind them early on in the game, they'd cause them problems, and they've done that consistently in the second half. Mark Hughes just got his head there. I think that was foot up. If he'd been outside the box, I think he might have given a free kick.
Some excellent work down that left flank by Lee Sharp. Free kick for Montpellier. Here's Carlos Valderrama. Lamote. Lucchesi. Taken out by Irwin. Thetis being pursued by Hughes. Irwin has injured himself in getting to that ball and making that clearance. Here's Sharp again. And they whack the ball deep into the Montpellier half. Hopefully getting it into touch as well to make sure now that, if necessary, Irwin can get some treatment, but he's on his feet again. Corey McMenemy in the crowd tonight. Graham Taylor's right-hand man. He will certainly have been impressed with some of the work of Lee Sharp down that left-hand side. This is Bruce underneath this one, but Garcia just beat him to that one. Colleterre gets the ball in. Irwin stops it. 20 minutes now remaining. Manchester United just 20 minutes away from the semi-finals of the Cup Winners' Cup if they can just keep their discipline going. Remember, Montpellier need 3 goals in 20 minutes. And a yellow card. Let's have a look at that. The referee getting between the Montpellier players and Thetis for the challenge on Mark Hughes. Gets a yellow card.
I don't think it'll hurt Mark Hughes. He's got the biggest ankles in football, same size as his thighs. He can take an awful lot of stick.
where we were sitting, you couldn't, because we couldn't see because of the benches there. Let's have a look at it now. Yes, took him pretty heftily from behind. And a worthy yellow card for the Montpellier number 4. Here's Hughes battling again with him. Robson trying to get in before Valderrama. Robson with the back heel, a cheeky one, but Thetis is there, gets it back carefully to goalkeeper Barabe. Pallister's header, up goes Sharp, away goes McClare. Blanc getting across, but Sharp's made a terrific break and he's just been caught fractionally offside. Up goes Bruce. In goes Hughes. Didn't quite work for him though. Thetis got there fractionally before in that time. But there's a referee's whistle.
Yes, and I'll tell you why. He's actually spat at Mark Hughes there. I saw it happen.
And it's got to be a red card then.
I think it will.
It's got to be a red card because he's already been booked, and Thetis will go off. That was a good spot, Gary. Thetis, who got a yellow card less than 2 minutes ago. Red card now. And so for the second time, Montpellier are reduced to 10 men.
There's nothing worse than that. That's the most revolting thing to do to anybody. I just happened to catch my eye off the ball incident, and I happened to see it straight in his eye. And second time, Mark Hughes, tackle on Mark Hughes, or an incident with Mark Hughes is resulting in the sending off. Not made him any more popular with the Montpellier crowd.
They're down to 10 men now, and really United must forge a place in the semi-finals now. 2-0 up on the night, 3-1 up on aggregates, playing Montpellier down to 10 men. But Montpellier looking to find Garcia again. Bruce holding them up well, supported by Pallister. Here's Irwin, forward now to McClare, knocked forward again to Mark Hughes. Now will he take on Blanc? Still with Hughes, left foot shot, and a good save. Some lovely play by Hughes. And Lucchesi also now in trouble for Montpellier, so they've just got 9 fit men on the field. Blackmore, forward he goes. And of course, Montpellier already have 2 substitutes on, so Lucchesi's just got to soldier on. Lee Martin's header, up to Lee Sharp.
Lucchesi's actually back on the field now.
Back on the field now, yeah. Valderrama. Long. Now this could be the danger. The ball there. It's Valderrama. Put away that time by Blackmore. Up to McClare. Hughes is up there with him. Sharp's just inside. He's got a choice here as he finds Robson on the far side. With a little over a quarter of an hour left. Lee Sharp brought down, a free kick.
Yeah, they're losing their heads a little bit now. They know that they're out of the Cup Winners' Cup. Frustration's creeping in. They're doing things that they otherwise wouldn't do.
Lamalt was the guilty man there.
The important thing for United now is that they don't get involved with this silly business and to make sure that they don't get any suspensions for the next round.
That's right. They're already without Brian Robson for the first game of the semi-finals. They must make sure they get no more yellow cards. Quite right. Bruce has gone up for this one, but Blanc beat him in the air. And here's Bruce again. Just got to play it nice and sensibly and safe and secure. And the glorious opportunity in the semi-final of the Cup Winners' Cup will be theirs. Just a quarter of an hour left of this game. Valderrama. Lamalt. Knocked forward there. Cut out by Clayton Blackmore. Played in for Phelan. Robson's waiting in the middle, but I don't think it'll get to Robson. That's against the post there by Blackmore. And now Sharp. Sharp! and he hurried himself, and he's annoyed with himself, and that could have been so easily 3-0.
Actually, it just bobbled for him, Brian, as he went to hit it.
Just as he was about to strike it.
Sometimes you can't do anything about that. If that happens...
But really, at that moment, they looked totally demoralised at the back.
Yeah, great shot from Clayton Blackmore there, hitting the post. And Lee Sharp...
Offside against Garcia.
As you see here. Lee Sharp intercepts the ball, cuts in, nicks it past the goalkeeper. And there it is, the ball. And if that happens, there's nothing you can do.
Pallister. Good play there by Valderrama, but also good play there by Gary Pallister. My goodness, what a game he's had again tonight. Lee Martin up to Sharp. Just caught his hand there, but it was accidental. The referee realised that. The game goes on. It's with Lamotte. Now for Blanc. Lamotte. Valderrama. Garcia.
Clayton Blackmore's actually been all over the field. Since Lee Martin came on, he went at left back. Clayton Blackmore went back into midfield, where he's equally at home, and has caused a lot of problems for Montpellier. In fact, every Manchester United player has been tremendous tonight.
A free kick to Montpellier. Must have been a little push there by Lee Martin on Garcia. Just need to defend well here. Valderrama will take it. Looping one in towards Blanc, but again Pallister was there at the expense of a corner. Alec Ferguson's Manchester United side with 11 men now back in the penalty area, and it was Robson with a header, providing Montpellier with another corner. Throwing themselves at that one. United just a little slow to decide who was going to make that clearance, and eventually it comes to Irwin, and he's hit a real long one there. But it's out of touch for another throw. Coletaire, closed down by McClare. Only if he clips it forward, which he's done, he'll find Hughes there. Sharp streaming forward as well for Hughes. Here's Robson. Clayton Blackmore just wide of him. Robson thought about the shot first off, plays the 1-2 with Clayton Blackmore. Robson claimed he was barred from going to get that return ball. Referee said no foul. Shurev is in there. Phelan there. Garcia knocking it sideways. Bruce, no doubt, will knock it back. 11 minutes are left.
Montpellier do appear to have thrown in the towel. I think if there's going to be a goal, I can only see it going United's way now.
Up goes Hughes. Here's Casey. Garcia making the break. Will he get in behind? Bruce. Well, he had a chance to make something of it. Nothing came of it except a goal kick for Manchester United.
Yeah, he's the only threat in the second half, Garcia, the only one that's caused them any problems at all.
Stuff raining down towards
nearly
Sealy at the moment.
Nearly proved me dreadfully wrong there, Brian.
Yes, I wish you wouldn't tempt Providence, and I thought Greavesy was doing that at half-time, but you're both absolutely right, and United are sitting very, very pretty indeed at the moment. Lucchese caught in possession. Lamotte knocking it forward to Valderrama. Ten minutes now left. Souverain with a throw. Sure. In goes Robson, quite happy to shepherd that one over for another goal kick. Well, I'm sure all football fans at home are rejoicing at the form and the performance of Manchester United, which has been really excellent here tonight. And
There you go, even foreign managers have gold bracelets.
I think that was the president, actually.
Was it? He probably can afford it.
Sharp. Hughes. Turned well. Just nicks it away from Valderrama. Sweeps it wide here for McClare. Irwin's gone down the right for Brian McClare. It's given away, and it's Blanc who has left his defensive duties now to get forward more and more. Valderrama. Didn't come off that little back heel. And it's back with Les Seeley. And plenty of space ahead now for Lee Martin. Blackmore. Foul on Blackmore. I suppose really, apart from that one exceptional night when Manchester United went in the Rumbelows Cup and beat Arsenal 6-2 just before Christmas, there can't have been a better performance by them this season overall, Gary. I mean, it's been a terrific night, well, it is at the moment, for English football. Let's hope it continues that way. But it really has been a superb all-round performance by United.
Yeah, it has. I think we'll be careful not to fall into the trap of criticising the French team too much, because don't worry, these are not a bad side. These have beaten PSV and Steaua Bucharest, two of the strongest teams in Europe, and they've come here tonight having things go against them in the first leg, and they've given a great performance and thoroughly deserve their 2-goal lead.
And also with no decisions going their way in that crucial first quarter of an hour when they could easily have become so frustrated. They kept their composure, they kept their cool, they did everything right. And then those 2 goals, one by Clayton Blackmore 4 minutes into injury time at the end of the first half, and the penalty by Stephen Bruce early in the second half. Up to Robson. Flick on by him towards McClare, but Colater was there first. Valderrama getting it through. And the long-range shot, well wide of the goal again. By Hubert.
Had a good double over the French this week, haven't we, with the rugby and now this?
Indeed. Also the promise of quite a good journey home, with Manchester United to leave about an hour after the final whistle to go back to Manchester tonight. Robson, Alistair. It should be a very pleasant journey, Gary. I think you're joining us on it, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Irwin. Hughes. This is Colater, the long ball forward, but not nearly accurate enough. Six minutes left. Irwin gets it back. Lucchesi, hustled by Phelan. Came off Hughes, so it'll be a Montpellier throw. Blackmore gets it away. French beginning to stream homewards. A night of big disappointment. They came with such high hopes. Blackmore gets it away up to Sharp. The feet were high on Blackmore. Another free kick to Manchester United. 5 minutes of the game left. It'll be a free kick to Gary Pallister. And straight through to goalkeeper Barabe. Knocked on nicely there. And Garcia's in there. And chance for Montpellier here. Jureb went down. The referee looked closely at it, but decided there was nothing untoward. Let's have a quick word with Jimmy Greaves. Good evening to you, James, back in London.
Evening, Brian.
I was slightly worried when you were so optimistic at half-time, but you were absolutely right.
I have to get one right very occasionally, you know, old soldier. And judging from dear old Blighty here, it's been a super performance by Manchester United. Highly disciplined, a lot of skill and imagination. They've shown far greater superiority than Montpellier, who quite frankly look very stereotyped, Brian. They've tried nothing different. They've been very much in their shadows. Their heads have dropped since the second goal was scored, and United have dominated, really. It's been a great performance by them, and we're all very happy here.
Thank you, Jimmy. Yeah, just under 4 minutes to go now. 2-0 on the night, 3-1 on aggregate. Garcia with a header, and a good shot by Zureb straight at Les Sealy. When you work it out, the home side really have hardly stung Sealy's hands throughout this night. Early on, the one good save, and really after that, hardly a difficult save to make.
No, he made one there that was a fairly easy save for him, but you've got to give United credit for that. It's a performance, a terrific performance in difficult circumstances, in a volatile atmosphere. They've acquitted themselves very well, and they've not had any problems all night, really. Just a couple of breaks. The goalkeeper's error, just to give them that vital lead, was probably the real turning point in the game.
Now they're just playing it around carefully, almost casually, sometimes with a little bit of arrogance to it. Here's Hughes. How he'd love to get on the score sheet, but there's Blackmore trying to keep it going. Oh, Hughes will take it. A little touch there for Lee Martin, just really playing out time now. Blackmore in again to Lee Martin. A back heel again for Lee Martin. The cross comes in, and the whistle has gone, and it'll be a free kick to Montpellier. About 2.5 minutes left. The only disappointment for Manchester United, Brian Robson picking up that second yellow card. Paul Ince going off injured at half-time with a gash down a leg. Other than that, it's been a night really of unrelieved joy for them, because they've performed so well. Blackmore to Hughes, trod on the ball for a moment. Lucchesi getting in there, gets it to Lamotte. Up gets Lucchesi, and a free kick in fact given Manchester United's way. There's no Barclays bubbly here, but I wonder if...
oh, don't put any pressure on me, Brian, now. I wasn't even thinking about that tonight.
Tell you what, there are several nominations, aren't there? That's for sure.
I think we should give it to Manchester United.
Excellent choice.
And they can share the champagne on the flight home, which no doubt they will have a glass or two.
Sealy, the long ball forwards. We're coming to the last minute now. And I would think Montpellier just want to get off the field now. It's a night of huge disappointment, a real letdown for them. And for their president. Irwin with the throw for United. Up to Phelan. Here's his cross it again. Lamotte gets it away, not very far. Jureb plays it forward. Garcia's on the chase again. Martin gets it back, very assured indeed. Back to Les Sealy. A throw out to Bruce, one of the real big heroes of the day.
I'll tell you who will be pleased tonight is that Lee Martin. After that own goal, he'd have thought about that for the rest of his life if they hadn't gone through, but that'll be completely out of his mind now, and he'll probably be the happiest man on the flight home.
Thought for a moment that was the final whistle. The referee in fact has looked hard at his watch. It's an offside against Mark Hughes, a free kick. We're now playing time added on for injuries at the end of 90 minutes. Lamotte, Souverain. Nothing can stop United now. Garcia. Cross coming in towards Jureb, and McClare gets that one away. Referee looks at the watch again. The final whistle, and Manchester United go into the semi-finals of the European Cup Winners' Cup. A marvellous performance here in the south of France tonight. A goal by Clayton Blackmore, 4 minutes into injury time at the end of the first half, and then a Steve Bruce penalty early in the second half really sealed it. They dominated the game with a